Ooh, Inter 4, Como nil. Twitter Tacticos, come here. Come here. Talk to me about Cesc Fabregas. Talk to me about this amazing tactical genius of Cesc Fabregas, this tiki-taka football. Talk to me. Come and talk to me. Christian Kivu today put Cesc Fabregas in a wrap, in a shawarma wrap, and ate him up. 4-0 footballing lesson was taught. And this is, oh, so annoying. Every single time I change the mic, it can't be. It says microphone, mic, sure, MV3. It should be the right mic. Testing, 1 2 testing. It should be it's saying that it's using the mic that this Shure mic. Let me quickly know if it is that. Yes, of course, I predicted a draw, or I predicted a narrow win. That was my prediction. It was like I was feeling like a 1-1 or a 2-1, very narrow. And I'll be real as well. Of course, I've just cooked Cesc Fabregas. It was, I think, the 4-0 scoreline is very, very undeserved. It's very, very undeserved. It's not me trying to predict or protect my prediction, because my prediction has no importance. I mostly get them wrong anyway. But it's not a 4-0 win. Very harsh on Como, especially in that second half. But wow, it's crazy what we just did out there today. Well, audio is definitely from the built-in laptop mic. What the hell? Okay, one second. Let me try to unplug and replug in the mic again. Or maybe change the source. Let's try. Okay, what about now? And let me try to increase the volume on here. That should be better, maybe. But if I restart my computer, then the stream's done. It's gonna take like a whole 10 minutes for it to fire up. Okay, better. Okay, all right. Thank you for letting me know. Like, this is really weird what's happening with this situation, because it literally says there that it's plugged in, but I had to choose a different source, even though it's the same exact source. Okay, thank you. Anyway, okay, let me start again then. Let me start again with the better voice, better sound quality. Twitter Tacticos, come here. Your manager, your favorite hipster manager, has just been put in a spliff by Christian Kivu. Inter 4, Como nil. Marcus Thuram scoring, Lautaro scoring, so the Tula scoring, Hakan scoring, Carlos Augusto scoring, clean sheet, and Luis Enrique. I mean, I think this is the biggest news out of today. More than the win, more than the clean sheet, more than the statement win, is the fact that Luis Enrique, guys, is alive. Luis Enrique is a player that can play at Inter. Luis El Football Enrique, as Shakir says. Luis El Football Enrique today. Luis Enrique looked like Dani Alves out there, looked like Maicon, he looked like Cafu. Any of those legendary Brazilian right backs that you want to put out there. Honestly, he was one of the best players on the pitch. If not man of the match, we'll get to it, whoever the man of the match is for you guys. But wow, what a performance by Luis Enrique. And you know why? It was funny and good to see also Cliff Esmiel in the house as well. What's up, brother? It was so good that Luis Enrique performed like this, because Cesc Fabregas, I feel like he was doing the what Pep Guardiola was, especially if you follow Premier League, or if you follow Guardiola over the years. One of the favorite things of Guardiola is gassing up the other team before you play the other team. He gasses them up differently, like double hand twist, all that kind of stuff. Putting all sorts of work before the game, like, oh, that team is amazing. They're pressing, they're passing, and then he also focused on Luis Enrique and Sucic. He says, Sucic, we almost signed Sucic. He thought he was mine, as he thought he was coming to Como. So we got him instead of Como. By the way, that shows kind of Como is also the level of scouting that they've got at the moment as well. But then on Luis Enrique says, we even tried to sign Luis Enrique last year. I'm a big fan of him for his footballing personality. Seeing these two go to a big club makes us feel good, like we're in, going to the right places. So that is true. But that makes the win or the Luis Enrique's performance that little bit sweeter. The fact that Fabregas, I felt like he was doing like I don't know, like a reverse jinx or the little Guardiola, the glaze that he likes to do. Guardiola is obviously one of his mentors as well, so maybe he did learn this of Guardiola, but it didn't work. It didn't work. Luis Enrique cooked differently today. I don't think it's that hard to pronounce, is it? Cliff Elsmio is pretty easy to pronounce. Fabregas turning into a new Gasperini. Well, we'll see what his post-match comments are, right, Ian? Gasperini always had something to say against us. And he even said, so they were asked about, he was asked about, were you close to joining Inter, in the summer, or Inter looked for you? And he was like, oh, this question hurts me. I don't know why he said it like that. Like, the question hurts me for you to ask me that. But yeah, I'm sure there might be some level of frustration because at the end I don't think it was his decision. I think it was Cuomo's decision not to let him go. He was the number one choice for Inter in the summer, but Inter's second, or some people even say Inter's third choice this summer for coach Christian Kivu. He is the one today that comes out on top, and that is now 3 wins in a row against Como. We cooked them last season 2-0, 2-0 both times, and this time we decided to do 4-0 all in one go. So we doubled last season's, or we matched last season's 2 wins in one go. And again, just because we won 4-0 today, I don't want people to be underestimating this win because it's always Como. Maybe they're a little bit overrated. They might be a little bit overrated. And I did say in my match preview, they kind of need to be taken down a notch. This whole sexy Como project. Oh yeah, blah blah blah. So it might be a little bit overrated at the moment, but I don't think you should not take away any credit from this Inter performance because this is a statement win to do this against Como. No one's done this against Como this season. Napoli struggled against these guys. Actually, let me have a look what the big matches that they've played up until now this season. Let me use FOTMob because they're a bit quicker. And by the way, thank you very much for the donation. I can see David Olza with the donation here was also a channel member, so I appreciate you, brother, for the support. Luis Enrique played well today. Juve woke up. Kanji, Boni, Sucic, and Sposito doing well. So all signings to be good ones. Yeah, at the moment. Now, the criticism on Auxilio as well. Slowly, we have to turn around on the criticism on Auxilio and the criticism that we had for the Mercato, maybe. But of course, we got to hold our horses still, David. But yeah, now we're seeing positive signs from every single one of our signings. So let's see, Como. So look at that. They beat Juve 2-0. That was at home. They drew away at Napoli, something that we couldn't do. Let's see if there's got any other big teams, big scalps that they've taken. They beat Lazio at home as well. So yeah, they haven't really played too many big games at the moment yet. But yeah, still, the ones that they've performed well in, and obviously we smashed them. Next week is another test for them away to Roma. So yeah, just want to make sure that we don't underestimate this win because it's very, very important what we've done today. Big, especially ahead of the Liverpool game, as Dudley Interista says. Bring me Liverpool. If we play against Liverpool, we're definitely wrapping those guys up. If we're pressing like this against Liverpool, if we're jumping on those guys with low confidence like this with today, I'm confident even that we can wrap up Liverpool, to be honest, man. And thank you very much. My goodness, every time, John. Now, this is, I think, the third time that you've done this. It's absolutely crazy that you do this. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. What I'm going to do, actually, John, is this time with your donation, what I'm going to do is I want to do a giveaway to someone. I want to, the YouTube Wrapped thing. The YouTube Wrapped. So it's like the Spotify Wrapped. I don't know if it's called YouTube Wrapped, but whatever it's called, like Spotify Wrapped, like Apple Wrapped. I want to give the person that sends me the screenshot of them having they're in the the lowest percent. So let me try to explain it properly. So you basically, you've watched the most amount of videos from my channel. So you'll be in the smallest percentage, or in the lowest percentile. So you'd be like in the 0.1 or 0.2% of listeners. I'll give a Intershirt away to that person. So that's what we're gonna do with this donation there, John, because this is in the lead up to Christmas, the time of giving. So thank you very much. That is super cool. I really, really appreciate your support. But yeah, so if you have Spotify Wrapped, YouTube Wrapped, take a screenshot of it. I don't know how actually it pulls up, because to me it just came up on my YouTube homepage, and it said you can have a look at it. And my number one actually was Inter Worldwide. Shock. Inter Worldwide, Italian football podcast. Those are my most watched. But yeah, if you have it, you send me a screenshot, and then I'll try to find out whoever's got the best one, the highest one. We'll give you an Inter shirt, and a real one, not I'll get it off the Inter store. Hopefully you're in a country that Inter store actually ships to. Yeah, fantastic. Let's move on. Welcome, Luis Enrique. That is, we can say this is the first real sighting of Luis Enrique outside of last game against Venezia, but that was the Serie B side. We saw real signs of the real Luis Enrique. Today we can say, welcome, Luis Enrique, to Inter FC Internazionale Milano. You have arrived, and I'm happy. I hope he proves me wrong, because you guys know I've actually jumped the gun on Luis Enrique. Very unlike me. Usually I'm very balanced. I used to try to give players time and all that kind of stuff. But with Luis Enrique, the early signs I saw, and he was saying about this guy that he's mentally not ready. This kind of stuff. Like I was getting really I wasn't getting the right vibes from Luis Enrique. But today, this is the Luis Enrique that we wanted to see, the Luis Enrique that we signed for. Very comfortable on the ball. I mean, I hope you saw, outside of the assist, outside of that run, that pace that he showed, what he showed today was every time he had the ball, he was just so comfortable on the ball. The scout report I made when we signed him, he showed today, like every time he had the ball, very comfortable, very calm on the ball. It's like basically what we said, what we didn't have is having basically almost like a DiMarco on that other side. We're not quite there in terms of in the involvement on the right side. We're still heavily involved on the left side, because it's, Bastoni's on that side, Zielinski, DiMarco's a very technical left-hand side. But look at this. DiMarco had 57 touches today. How many touches did the Luis Enrique have? With touches, 36 touches. So 20 less touches. But I think this guy has the potential to be just as involved on that side as DiMarco in terms of his technical ability. I don't think he's got as good of a cross or as technically good as DiMarco is in tight spaces and things like that to play out from the back. But I think he's close to that level at his potential, at his highest potential. I think Luis Enrique's got that ball playing ability, that technique, that touch. And then he also has that pace as well. So he's supposed to be kind of like a bit of a, combination of a little bit of Dumfries in terms of being able to run in behind and pace, but also a bit of DiMarco, which is what we needed. Because we know with Denzel, you basically get very little involvement on that right side. So today we saw that from Luis. Very, very impressive performance. Very happy for him. Very, very happy for him. And as I said, I did jump the gun very quickly on this guy. But of course, I'm going to need more games from him. But this is the first real sighting of Luis Enrique. And he was good defensively as well. There was only one time that Asan Diao in the second half ran away from him. But when Jesus Rodriguez was there, or Adai, whoever was facing him 1v1, he dealt with it very well. So both sides today, Luis Enrique on the ball, attacking, defensively, solid game. Luis Enrique, definitely one of the shouts for man of the match. And of course, next week, well, it wouldn't be Conor Bradley next week, because Conor Bradley plays as a right back on the other side, so it would be Milos Kerkez or whoever plays left back for Liverpool, Andy Robertson, that would be who you'd be facing up against. But I know what you mean, that, you know, if he plays like this, he can match up against those guys for sure. Yeah, of course, we'll talk about the Liverpool game afterwards. But yeah, if we play like this, we can, tie Atalanta as well. There you go. But yeah, we'll talk about the Liverpool game later. There was definitely the giveaways are always rigged. Yeah, maybe this might be the time, Ahmad. Sure, send me a screenshot. This time it's not a random giveaway. This time it's, you know, depending on how loyal you are to the channel, it depends on how much of a real one you are, Ahmad. But as I said, the 4-0 scoreline was a little bit deceiving. There was some moments of nervousness when Inter were 1-0 up at halftime, and we came back halftime. It was not cruise control. You know, the scoreline makes it seem like it was absolute cruise control. Where's the momentum one? Yeah. So yeah, well, after Inter went 1-0 up, you can see it's typical Inter. Like, we kind of take the foot off the gas. It started, then Como started to come into the game. At halftime, it was 55% possession to Como, which we expected. And we also expected the drop off from Inter. The pressing in the first 10 minutes was absolutely crazy. So there was going to be a drop off. But then we came on in the second half. Fabregas actually made 3 subs at halftime. I think he did. Obviously Morata came off before halftime because of injury, but then he also made 2 substitutes at halftime. And that changed the momentum of the game. You can see before we score that goal, the Marcus Thuram goal from a corner, it was pretty much all Como, and then they had a big chance from Duvikas that he didn't take. So it could have been a very, very different game if Duvikas, it was pretty much a tap in that he had at the far post. If that chance went in, 1-1, we're talking about a completely different game. Then at 2-0, that completely changed the game again. Then there was still, you know, lots of pressure from Como after that goal, but Inter managed it quite well. And then afterwards, Inter made some substitutions as well, some fresh legs. Mickey came on. Mickey was good with his impact. Hakan obviously scored as well, and then Carlos Augusto with the impact, and that was it. But it definitely, these 15 minutes here could have changed the whole game. But that also shows that Inter managed the situation quite well. Outside of that Duvikas chance, I liked how Inter defended deep today. Like, we pressed super high. It was a crazy high press at times, but then we also knew that we were going to have to suffer with this Como team. They were going to dominate possession, and we kind of reduced their chances. In the end, XG, again, the XG shows, you know, Inter kind of overperformed their XG today. Only 1.24 according to FOTMob. Let me see what how much XG the Sofa score gives it for today's game. Yeah, similar, same one, 1.24, same as FOTMob. 0.95 for Como, so very close in terms of XG, but that was mainly because of, you know, accumulation, more shots from Como. The real big chance was that Duvikas one here. That, to me, that was more than 0.34 XG. That was a very high XG chance, in my opinion, that he should have got on target at least. But outside of that, I don't think Como really created anything in particular, apart from a couple of set pieces that were threatening, which is, makes this win even more impressive. Very, very nice. And I've got, of course, the screenshots that we can go through in a moment. Hope Mickey doesn't just delete Zielinski and Suchic's playing time. I 100% agree, Filippo. Mickey was good when he came on, but I think we can finally start to. Well, I think we've said it for a few weeks now. We're seeing the real Zielinski now at Inter. Regular playing time, regular starts, looks fitter, looks fresh. This, I think, the starter for me at the moment is Piotr Zielinski in the left centre mid role, ahead of Mkhitaryan, ahead of Sucic. I think Sucic still shows some, like when you came on today as well, he showed some naivety, some little frailties in terms of his off the ball work, or, you know, dueling and just, you know, footballing IQ off the ball, defensive side of things. Whereas Zielinski as well, he's impressing me in terms of off the ball as well, off the ball he's impressing me, Zielinski. On the ball, we know he's so clean, tidy. He barely gets anything wrong, but I'm also impressed with all the off the ball work that Zielinski is doing, which is why last season I think he never took over from Mkhitaryan. So I agree with you, Filippo. I agree with you. Yeah, I'll get in touch with you, John. Thank you. Very appreciate that. Finally, a game where we know when to give away the ball and absorb pressure, not just attack and get caught with pants down. Best game of the season so far. I agree with you to a certain extent, Mattia. Again, if Duvikas takes that chance, I was seeing people online on Twitter were getting very worried with how we came out in the second half. I feel like we did suffer a little bit too much in those 15-20 minutes in the second half, in the first part of the second half. Like this chance here from Duvikas, look, he's like literally 3 yards from goal, snips away from Makanji at the back post, and he hits it with the outside of his foot for some reason. Goes with his right foot instead of his left foot, which I know he's right-footed, but that's the wrong technique he went for there. That goal goes in at 1-1, and I think we're our conversation is completely different. Which is, that's the thing with football, such narrow margins. Milan derby, Sommer holds that ball, that shot from Salamakers. We're not talking about anything. If that game ends 0-0, no one's complaining. Just narrow margins, that penalty on Mkhitaryan against Napoli, if that's not given, it's like these narrow margins that completely change the outcome of a game, the scoreline, and of course the judgment from us as fans. But overall, this first half, I'm definitely would agree with you, Mattia. The first half, the way we pressed, but then after the goal, yes, we dropped off, but we were very comfortable in terms of Como did absolutely nothing. We dropped off. We sat behind the ball, which we haven't really seen us do under Kivu as well, which I want to see, especially in Europe against Liverpool, against these teams. You are going to have to give away possession. You're going to have to maybe suffer a little bit off the ball, but then, you can absorb pressure, but stay switched on. We didn't give anything away and then hit them on the counter-attack, which we did on the transition today. So definitely one of the best performances this season. I think the scoreline is obviously one of the best ones this season. Clean sheet, but overall, off the ball, I would agree. Off the ball, this is one of the most impressive performances I've seen of this Inter, not just under Kivu. I'm talking last few years. Like the way this Inter team pressed at times today was unreal. But then also the ability to kind of breathe, because we're not going to be able to do this type of press. We're not. The Klopp's Liverpool were definitely aided by some other substances, I feel. Because the way that Klopp team used to press was unreal for like full 90 minutes. We're not going to be able to do that. But the way that we were picking our moments, the third goal came from that crazy high press as well. Like there was like 5-6 guys on one player at one point when we won the ball back. It was crazy. But yeah, as John says, they only had one good chance, a couple of headers. There was one time that Nico Paz got a header, and then Acerbi saved it, but it was like his back of his head. Like he had no idea about it. Like Nico Paz headed it into Acerbi's back of Acerbi's head. It was going on target by the looks of it, but that was about it really in terms of big chances for Como. So that is definitely big credit to Inter and their defending today. By the way, with Inzaghi, the redemption arc was never going to happen. Yeah, probably not. You can send it to me. So if you're Dakins of 100, if you are in the Discord chat, you should be part of the Discord chat. You can send the screenshots in there, or Instagram. You can see the handles here: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok as well. I'm on TikTok. So any of these platforms, you can send me the screenshots there. And as I said, the one that has that shows that they've watched the most videos of the Uncle Sharma channel, they will get the giveaway. It has been a while since I've done the giveaway last week for the channel merch things. Those are like little things, but it's been a while since we've done a proper Inter kit giveaway. Here he is, Mattia, raining on our parade. I was trying to say that, we shouldn't underestimate this win. But no, I'm not saying that, they're not a big team. I'm not going to say that. There's not a big club as of yet. I think that's going to take a while. This project has got a few years to go until they become a big club. But as I was saying in the pregame, because Fiorentina have dropped out this season, Mattia, they're Fiorentina, like, going to battle relegation. They lost again today to Sassuolo. I feel like Como have taken their spot in terms of that, those 7-8 teams that we count as not big clubs, but big games in terms of that team is going to come to San Siro. Whether you go home or away, that team is going to give you trouble. They're going to have players that could get into your team, at least one or two players that could get into your team. And they're going to be challenging for Europe. So Como is definitely that. And I think for the next few seasons, in the next few years, they are going to be challenging in Europe for European spots for sure. Whether that's Champions League, I'm not sure. But at least I think Conference League, Europa League this season, they're going to be challenging for that. So in terms of that, I don't want us to underestimate this win. But yes, they're not a big club for sure. And I don't think they're going to be a big club for a while. That becoming a big club, that takes time. Not just PR, not just celebrities watching your games, not just getting into Europe a couple of seasons makes you a big club for sure. What great timing as well. Hopefully this means we can focus on other areas during the January Mercato if there is one. Yes, this is really, if Luis Enrique recovers and becomes a useful member, this actually solves our issues for the January window, because I was thinking, man, we need to get a right wing back ASAP in January if this goes on, because we can't play Carlos Augusto as a right wing back permanently. But of course, Dumfries is coming back as well. But just in general, this does help us timing wise. Como also may have been overmotivated. A surplus of emotion can tie your hands and make you commit fouls, which they expected Como to get a red sooner or later. Yeah, that guy, what's his name? Diogo Carlos, and you guys might remember him. Sevilla, this guy caused us heartache a few years back in the Europa League final, Conte season, when Sevilla beat us in the final. This guy was there. I don't know how he did not get sent off today. This guy was doing some rugby tackles, WWE holds, and MMA triangle chokes, especially on Thuram, but also on Lautaro. He did a couple of dirty fouls. He got away with just a yellow. I think Hakan today was very lucky not to get a yellow. A few of our players, I feel like we're lucky to not get a yellow today. But Diogo Carlos, I don't know how he wasn't sent off, to be honest. But yeah, Como in general, they did try to. But this is how they play. This is what I was saying in my match preview. People think they're like some sort of hipster tiki-taka team, but actually no. Fabregas is very much like Arteta's Arsenal. They're, on paper, you look at them and they look like, a nice footballing team. But actually, when you watch Como play, they love set pieces. They love dueling. They love aerial duels. They love getting stuck in. They love high pressing. They don't let you breathe. They're very, very much against the image that the brand that's been created around Como. But if you actually watch Como play, they're actually quite a dueling and tough team to play. And yeah, they've got players like Diogo Carlos that can be a little bit dirty, kind of like Yerry Mina vibe, those kind of shithousery type of players. But yeah, deceiving scoreline because we should have had 6. You could argue that as well, that that Inter could have had more, that we were wasteful. Because again, XG sometimes doesn't show you the fact that Inter could have, like there was that DiMarco chance. Let me show you. I've got the screenshot of that. This doesn't go down in the XG. DiMarco 2v2 here with Thuram next to him, completely overhits, which you expect so much more from DiMarco with the quality of his left foot here. Yes, he's ran for like 50-60 meters, so of course he's going to be out of breath, but definitely you would expect him to at least get that to Thuram. This doesn't show in the XG, but any decent pass to Thuram here, and it's a shot on goal, that would be probably a high XG chance. And there was other opportunities as well that Inter wasted like this that don't show up on the shot counter or on the XG counter. But again, I know it's tongue-in-cheek, Bobby Marley, but I feel like the 4-0 scoreline is definitely deceiving for Inter. I don't think the gap between the two teams was as big as that. And yeah, thank you, Mattia, for reminding the people to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That supports the channel very, very much, guys. More than you believe. More than you believe. Let me see what other comments we've got in here. Sham, great video from me. This was a fantastic game. Such pressing from us, like a pack of wild dogs hounding the opposition. Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to do like a video on this after, to just take some moments where our pressing was absolutely crazy. Especially like, yeah, some of the examples would be the first like 5-10 minutes. Like, let me give you an example. One screenshot I took was from the first few minutes. This was minute 220, and this is into matching up from goal kick. So it's 3v3. Then in the end, Como end up bringing Stefan Posch in more, and they get 4 guys there to outnumber Inter. But this was the Inter's intent from the moment go. From the first moment, you could tell Kivu said to these guys, I don't want these guys to breathe first 10-15 minutes until you guys have the energy to do it. We want to kill these guys. And that's exactly what Inter did. And we almost scored in the first few minutes from this. Almost 1-0 in the first minute. Diogo Carlos there saves. I think Lautaro was going for like a lob on the goalkeeper. And yeah, he saves it. But that was almost 1-0 straight away in the first like minute. I think this was very, very good start. And then again, it continued. The onslaught continued. We pressed high, won the ball back. Lautaro passes it into Barella. Barella 1v1 on Butes. Very good save by Butes. Barella, maybe you could say, should score, but I feel like you should give credit to goalkeepers in these types of situations. Comes out, saved it with his left foot, keeps it at 0-0. But that was maybe one of the most impressive first 10 minutes in terms of pressing I've seen at Inter of the last few seasons. Fantastic. Hey, the PE teacher is cooking, Sean. If you know what he's referring to. The PE teacher comments by some certain individuals that may or may not be the host of the Italian Football Podcast. I don't know. Just mentioned in a random podcast by mistake. Just who knows who said that? I have no idea. Yeah, definitely Nico Paz could be a mezzala, but let's not dwell on Nico Paz as a painful one. Yeah, no, 100% Mac UK. But again, like, let's hold our horses as well with Luis Enrique. Just one performance, as Rocky Ferraro says, like, we need like a consistent amount of performances. But like, finally today we saw the real Luis Enrique. But it's now we can get off his back at least, because what the issue was with Luis Enrique is like, show us something, like just something, bro. And he showed a little bit against Venezia, but that was Serie B, so we're not going to give him credit for that. But now against Como, yeah, this is what we were waiting for. This is what we needed to see, and now we can get off his back and give him some time. This is the thing. Now it gives him breathing space. I bet you no journalist is going to ask Kivu about Luis Enrique, so he's not going to be annoyed about, oh, why are you asking me about Luis Enrique? Because he has been annoyed about journalists asking him about Luis Enrique and Juve, and it's like, oh, why are you guys focusing on these guys? So now Juve has been good, so no one's going to ask him about Juve. Now Luis Enrique today was very good, so no one's going to ask him. So that there's not going to be any negative headlines in the Gazzetta, in the Corriere, the Pagelle, the ratings. As soon as Luis Enrique is given a 5 or a 4 on there, that creates negativity around it. He's probably going to read it. We're going to find something on social media about some negative things about him. The pressure's going to mount. But now, breathe, Luis Enrique. You can breathe. This gives you some time to now. I've shown you something. Now you can even have a negative performance, because now we've seen what he can add. Now, if today he played badly, that would have been literally like, the nail in the coffin, as people would say, because that's like, wow, this guy's not showing nothing. He's having to play Carlos Augusto as a right wing back out of position. But now this gives him some breathing space, and we can get off his back now. Like, okay, bro, you've shown us something. You can even have one like a negative performance in there. Now we'll give you the few months now to get accustomed to things, and we'll rethink the judgment in a few months now. That is all good. Why can't we shine like that against top teams? Yeah, that is the missing step, right? Language stores. But again, language stores, as I was saying, like just little details, right, that are missing against Juve. If Jan Sommer doesn't have the stinker that he has, we're talking about a completely different game, because Juve barely created anything in that game as well. Milan, if Jan Sommer just holds that shot from Salamakers, we're talking about a different game. I think the Napoli one in general, even outside of the penalty, will end up being quite a stinker in the second half because we lost our heads. Atletico Madrid as well, just staying switched on until the last minute, not letting Jimenez have that completely free run to header it and kill us in the last moment of the game. So I think like the performance, even in big games, language stores, I feel like the performances have been there. I don't think at any moment, any game this season, maybe the Napoli one, you could say, I don't feel like Inter have ever been outplayed by any team this season. It's just been some mistakes and little details that we missed out on in some big games. But yeah, Liverpool now, next up, Liverpool. That is the next big game that we have to show what we're made of. If this is, again, are we just a team that is going to lose all the big games? But that's the thing as well, though, guys. I'm not going to talk about it because people disagree with me on this, but we'll talk about it later in the season. I'm not even going to talk about what I was going to say. Let's move on. Let me see more of your comment. Oh, Liverpool are 3-3 against Leeds. Damn. So these guys shaky, can't put up, like, I think they can't win 2 games in a row. Defensively, they're weak. Injury issues. Salah's not firing. Come on, we gotta beat this Liverpool team. We gotta take revenge for that Liverpool exit we had a few years back. We need to take revenge for that Liverpool exit. Hakan was shaky today. I mean, again, similar to Inter, the 4-0 scoreline and Hakan scoring, it covers up what was, in my opinion, quite a shaky performance from Hakan. Lots of misjudged passes, misplaced passes from Hakan today. I mean, 90% passing accuracy doesn't really show that, but I think if you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. A few times he completely mishit his passes. Off the ball, there was sometimes that he would like dominate off the ball, like really good tackling, really tough tackles, but sometimes he would just dive in, get beaten very easily. Got dribble past twice, looked shaky a few times, bad decision making a few times. It wasn't a vintage Hakan performance. Of course, the goal now is going to cover all that up, but yeah, not his best performance, but not his worst performance either, though. Yeah, I need to drop in. I do drop the link quite regularly in the chat here, but I think I need to drop it in one more time. Or what I'll do is, once the video is over, and if you refresh the page, I'll drop it and pin it once again, just so people can, because I know the links expire, the Discord links expire, I think, after a week, so I have to remaking those invites. But I'll drop it again if you refresh this video after I'm done. Thank you, Eduardo, for the support as always. Liverpool tied 3-3. They are ours for the taking, of course. Positivity FC in the house. He's always going to be feasting on any type of positivity that you can have. Yeah, Hakan got 8.4 because of the goal, but he was already Hakan. The thing is, you have to realize with these match rating apps is the Hakan will always get a higher rating because he's on corners and set pieces, and every time someone has a header off a corner or a set piece, that counts as a chance created. So him and Di Marco both get extra bonus points from those chances created from corners and set pieces. And then he also has, lots of pass completion rate, because he plays, deeper. He completes a lot of passes, simple passes. So it kind of, these match rating apps often, always, regardless of how Hakan plays, he has a high rating because of that. That's how it works. It's not a human, this is an algorithm. So any of these things here, you see, two chances created, that is a 0.5 plus or whatever. I don't know what exactly the number is, but that's how it works. It's an algorithm, it's automatic. So when he fails a dribble, that will be minus 0.2 or something. If he loses a duel, that's a minus 0. But then if he wins the aerial duel, that's a plus 0 point something. That's how these match rating apps work. Is every action has a plus or a minus in their algorithm. Some actions have more bonus points than others, like chance created, I think, has more bonus points than others. Recoveries has high, I think, bonus points. So that's why a lot of the times you'll see Hakan, even if we think watching the game he's not had a great game, but because of these little bonus things that the match rating app gives you, that is why he ends up getting really high ratings. No, we need proof still, Eduardo, because then otherwise I'll get accused of favoritism. You saw Ahmed's comment earlier; he was already accusing me of rigging the giveaway. So it's just to show, and I need to post it on my stories as well. I gotta have a little bit of bragging as well, so I can post it on my stories and show oh look, I'm in the 0. Someone's watching me 0.2%. This guy is a big viewer of the channel. You got to give me got some things to brag about, right? Yeah, as I said in my match preview, if Morata started the game, I was going to be happy. If Duvica started the game, I was going to be a little bit more concerned, but he didn't do anything either. He actually missed the biggest chance of the game. But yeah, Morata, 32 minutes, did absolutely nothing, then went off injured. Oof, when is this guy's career going to fizzle out properly? Feels like he's been hanging on for dear life to his career. We were close to signing him as well. I remember in was it this not last season, the season before? I think the Seconda Stella season. I think we were supposed to sign him, but then we ended up signing Arnautovic. Yeah, let's go back to some more screenshots of the game. I wanted to actually cover Lautaro before the game was commemorated with Boninsegna. So he's the guy that he's trying to catch up to, who's on 171 goals, historic striker for Inter. Lautaro was commemorated with 163. Well, today he made 164 goals. Probably should have made 165 because he had a shot at the end that he should have probably scored on with Luis Enrique. Could have got. Luis Enrique could have had 2 assists actually if Lautaro scored that. So shouts out to him for that. A very good performance from Lautaro. Today, this is the performance I like from Lautaro. So today, if Lautaro didn't score, I would have been happy with this Lautaro performance. So I know there's a lot of, always conversation with Lautaro. Is he good? Is he bad? When he's out of form, what does he add to the team? This is in my opinion, this is the type of performance we want to see from Lautaro when he's not scoring. His involvement in the second half really dropped off. So that's true. So in the second half, he was almost non-existent. But his first half performance today was, one of his best ones this season. His involvement in the first goal was absolutely key. Obviously, he scored, but he was the one that started it all. He dropped in as that number 10 that he often does now when he plays with Thuram. He's the number 10 that comes deep to link up play. He picks it up from Barella, then plays it first time. Look, Luis Enrique is not even there, but he sees the space and the weight of the pass, the direction of the pass is perfect, right into Luis Enrique's path, who has 40, 50 meters to run into space with his pace. Luis Enrique cuts back onto his left foot, passes it to Lautaro, and Lautaro finishes it first time into the far post. Very, very nice goal. Super happy for Luis Enrique, but super happy for Lautaro Martinez. And super happy for me because I had Lautaro Martinez in my fantasy Serie A team as my captain. So last week I had Lautaro, but I left him on the bench by mistake and he scored 2 goals against Pisa. So I had to make sure I got my points from Lautaro this week. But yeah, Lautaro's performance in that first half was very, very nice. And now he's top scorer in the league, isn't he? I mean, he was already last week after those 2 goals against Pisa. He is, I think he went above Orsolini, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, there he is. Oh, and Hakan as well. Hakan's back, second top scorer. on matching Orsolini. Uh, it just shows like the lack of striker quality at the moment in Serie A. It's a little bit embarrassing, to be honest, but at least Lautaro's stepping up. And at least Lautaro's showing, I always say to him, like, he's earning 9 million net a season. So at least, unlike Vlahovic, at least he's top of the scorer chart, even though 7 is a very low amount. At least he is top of the scorer chart. Nico Paz, though, at the moment is top in terms of GA. Di Marco is leading in terms of assists. So you can see Inter boys are leading the charts in terms of goal scoring, goal creation. But obviously that is not our issue. Our issue is the defensive side of things at times that has let us down. And we are also temporarily top of the league, but I don't think it will last. I don't expect this week. I expect Milan to win against Torino. I know it's actually their bogey team, though. If you ask Milan fans, they're actually very worried about this game. Torino away has been a bit of a bogey game for them, but this Torino team specifically, I'm not expecting anything from them. Maybe Napoli could drop points to Juve, but they're at home, so I don't feel like we'll stay top of the league. But it's good to see us being top of the league. And Roma might get another Fugazi win that puts them top again. Because those guys, every big game they lose, but then they win all the other games, Roma. Let's continue on to the... No, I didn't bench him. I left him by mistake. Yeah, not in my excuse me, in my right mind, I would never bench Lautaro against Pisa, especially if I have him. He's so expensive on Fantasy Serie. He cost like 19 credits. I just forgot to do my team before the game. Let's continue on. Oh, yeah. This is basically in the first half, to reiterate how well we played in the first half. This is all that Como created in the first half. It was a header from Nico Paz from a corner. And then this shot that I have no idea whether it was going on target or not from Duvikas. Dangerous position, near the penalty spot. But Barella with a really good block there. Barella really worked his ass off in this game as well. Everyone really worked hard in this game. It just shows, when everyone is switched on, when everyone is working hard, when everyone is sacrificing themselves, the big players, the so-called substitute players, when everyone is switched on, this Inter team can defend well, and we're not going to give you easy chances. But that just kind of wrapped up how good we were in the first half, giving Como nothing, pressing the hell out of them, but then sitting back and also not letting them have any half chance. Oh yeah, we already talked about this. This was actually, yeah, I did say like in the second half we dropped off in the first half, but actually if you look at the time, that was straight after half time. So we could have also maybe already ended the game at 2-0 in the beginning of the second half. But after this, then Como started to dominate us for a good 10-15 minutes. That's when they created their big chance. But again, small details, small little butterfly effects, as they say, changed the outcome of a match completely. But luckily, this wasted chance didn't. And Lautaro, he almost had the almost copy and paste of the goal that he scored against Cremonese. Yes, he was a little bit more central. Sorry, not Cremonese, Pisa. The assist that Pio Esposito gave him, I think this one was from Di Marco. Straight to him, onto his left foot. Tried pretty much the exact same technique with the side foot, but this time he completely mishits it. So again, this doesn't show up on the XG as a big chance, but for Lautaro, first time shot coming in like Pisa, this is probably a bigger chance than the XG would say. We already talked about the massive chance for Duvikas that they didn't score. Oh, and this one I completely forgot about. And again, this one comes from nothing. Zoma completely makes the wrong decision here. Oh, probably makes the right decision, but he's just too small and not reactive enough to get to that ball first. So Nico Paz floats the ball to Alex Valle, their left back, who they actually Como known for this inverted run that the left back makes, because Alberto Moreno last week scored the exact same goal, just like this, with Nico Paz floating the ball. So it's clearly a lot of something that they worked on in training that they do. Um, but yeah, Zoma calls for it, so Akanji leaves it because he thinks Zoma's coming and claiming it. But luckily, their left back completely mishits it and it goes over. Because again, if he gets that on target, that's in. Because Zoma's in no man's land. He's missed the ball. He's going out and he's punching the player rather than the ball. So again, little signs of shakiness. But this has never been, even in his peak, Jan Zoma, because of his height, it's never been his forte. This is why, even when he was at Gladbach and for Switzerland, I never used to rate him as a top goalkeeper because I always thought he was, not really a dominating goalkeeper when it comes to set pieces, corners, and these situations. But at the moment, we know this is Jan Zoma, this form of Jan Zoma, we're always a little bit nervous when he's trying to do anything, to be honest. But yeah, luckily we didn't get punished here. Again, that's not a massive chance, but we kind of turned it into one because of some poor defending there. And then we score from a corner out of nothing, really. This was 15-20 minutes of Como dominating us in the first bit of the second half, but then we are set piece FC still. This team remains a big threat on set pieces. I think Acerbi gets a little nod on it. Did he get the assist for it? I'm not sure if he got the assist for this one. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, he did. He got an assist for this Acerbi. Let me just show you. So yeah, Acerbi was given the assist for this because he got the nod on into Thuram. I don't think Thuram's going to be very pleased with the screenshot that I've took there. Not the most aesthetically pleasing stance, and not the most manly stance there by Marcus Thuram, the way he scored that goal. But yeah, it doesn't get easier than that for Marcus Thuram getting his. I think the commentator said that was his 7th goal this season. So even with the injury in there this season, Marcus Thuram has managed to rack up 7 goals already this season. I think they're talking about all comps. It's a pretty good return. But yeah, that goal then changes the game once again for Inter. We were starting to get nervous. We were starting to feel like maybe Como were going to come back into this game. But this goal, I think, killed all hopes and gave Inter a very nice little padding and confidence to see out the game. And then afterwards, yeah, we just killed them. Oh yeah, and this is the chance I was talking about where Lautaro should have scored. Luis Enrique again passes it. This was a very simple one. Straight to Lautaro. Lautaro hits it straight at the goalkeeper. Almost goes through his legs. Butez almost went through his legs. And Thuram was almost there to sweep up, but Butez in the end managed to pick it up. But yeah, Lautaro definitely should have scored this one. And then Hakan, boom. This one could have been even a bigger chance, to be honest, because Mickey kind of wasted it. He probably could have shot, but then decided to pass. The pass was deflected into Hakan. But then, yeah, for Hakan is almost like, sometimes it almost feels like a penalty for this guy this season. His shooting from outside of the box this season has been unreal. But yeah, fantastic finish there. Fantastic shot by Hakan there, who has 6 goals in Serie A now. 2nd top goal scorer in Serie A. Amazing return by our CDM. Once again, our CDM has 6 goals. And then we wrap things up. Di Marco gets to have an assist as well. And Augusto, not the cleanest of finishes, but who cares? Hits it into the ground and it goes into the near post. Butez maybe could have done better on this one, but who cares? Carlos Augusto gets his goal as a right wing back. I think that the timing of the substitution was right by Kivu, because that was when Asan Diao came on and he beat Luis Enrique 1v1. I think then you could start to feel like, yeah, we need someone that's a little bit more solid defensively to come on. So that was the right substitution, right timing by Kivu to make the substitution. And yeah, that's the game. 4-0. Who was the official man of the match? Who was the official man of the match? I don't know. Does anyone know? Because Hakan's been given it here by FOTMob and SofaScore, but I don't know who the official one was. But let's vote our one. Let's vote who is our man of the match for the Uncle Sharma channel today, guys. Let's finish on that. To me, for confidence, for the surprise, for the totality of the performance as well, like defensive side, assist, could have had another assist, should have had another assist because of Lautaro. I want to give it to Luis Enrique, to be honest. I want to give it to Luis Enrique. Oh, okay. So official one was given to Lautaro. Thank you guys for commenting. Yeah, I think Mickey knew he was going to miss. Yeah, it is. It's like at the moment there is no there's no Aslani, there's no Taremi or Arnautovic. There's always a scapegoat of the situation. It feels like this season we don't have a scapegoat of the situation, which is true. Every season, I've been making content with you guys for how many years now, and always there's always a scapegoat. As soon as that player comes on, it's like, oh, we lost because of that guy, Gagliardini, Avesino. Like there was always a negative. I feel like sometimes it can be Frattesi when he comes on and he has one of those like one pass completed out of 4 performances. He can be a little bit of the scapegoat, but there's no like player that I feel like this season is really the target of everyone, like the Correa, as we said, the Aslani, things like that. But yeah, to me, I would say Luis Enrique, Dimash. Yeah, Dimash. I think with Dimash, I always expect more. With that left foot he has, I think I always expect more. And yeah, he had some passes today were a little bit not his usual quality today, DiMarco. But he was up and down like a little train today, as he has been all season, man. I don't know what Kivu and the physical fitness team has given him this season, but he has been amazing physically, DiMarco, and completes another 90 minutes, which is now not even a surprise anymore. Before it used to be a surprise. Now we're not even talking about it. What do you think about? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? So if you're on the UK or like world feed commentary, you'll know what he's talking about. I might invite him on because he does actually watch the channel. Sometimes you might see Patrick Kendrick comment on my videos, which I do appreciate. He actually does comment on my videos once in a while. But I do feel like people don't really enjoy some of his comments about Inter. Sometimes it feels like he's making little snarky comments about Inter. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are. Because I might invite him on the channel because he's still. I feel like he is, as an English-speaking commentator, I think he is one of the best around in terms of his pronunciation of players, the way he speaks, the way he creates the storyline, the stats, everything. That he's very well prepared. But I know what people mean. Like sometimes it feels like he can have like some comments about Inter, but I feel like we got to be real as well, guys. Anything about Inter, as fans of Inter, we can be very sensitive as well. We have to be real. But I'm interested to hear what you guys think about Patrick Kendrick's commentary. But yeah, it looks like most people want to give it to Luis Enrique. So yeah, the official man of the match is to you, Irmão Luis Enrique. Please accept the Uncle Sharma Man of the Match award. You deserve it. Let's wrap up once again his stats from today. 22 out of 26 passes, 2 chances created, should have been 2 assists, 36 touches, 2 out of 2 successful dribbles, 1 out of 1 accurate crosses, 1 out of 3 long balls, 6 recoveries, 2 interception, 1 tackle, 3 out of 4 ground duels won. Yeah, total performance by Luis, Cafu, Maicon, Dani Alves, Enrique. Very, very proud of him. I also enjoyed Barella's performance. Maybe I should have scored, but I really enjoyed how he was battling today. Look at that. Only 25 passes completed, so not much involvement by Barella's standards today. Well, actually, there was did you guys see that moment where there was a substitution? Was it Mkhitaryan was coming on, and they put up Barella's number, and Kivu went fuming. Was like, no, not Barella. This is Zielinski. It was quite funny to see Kivu fuming about that. They corrected that straight away. Let me have a quick look at the average positioning map on SofaScore. So yeah, you can see today. Oh, look at that! It was almost like a 3-4-3 because how high Inter were pressing at times. But this is like the position you see Frattesi pick up sometimes when he plays, because he's usually so high up, not involved. But it makes sense that Barella only had 25 passes completed, because usually he has like more than 30, 40, 50 even sometimes. How many touches did he have? 38 touches. So yeah, by Barella standards, this is quite a low involvement. So Kivu clearly studied a slight different plan today with Barella, trying to be more involved. He made a few more runs into the box than we've seen him recently. You can see Enrique as well, inverting a little bit more compared to, Dumfries or Darmian. He likes to invert a lot more than some of our other guys. Again, shows how comfortable he is in possession. And what I'm saying, he could be like the DiMarco of the right hand side. Yeah, it was almost like a 3-4-2-1 with Barella and Lautaro behind Thuram in terms of average position. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Nice. Some fans really try and make Bisek the scapegoat. Yeah, I mean, whenever we concede a goal, there's always someone to blame. So, yeah, when we win or when we lose, well, because we don't draw, so we either win or lose. So when we lose, we will find an excuse to find a scapegoat. But I mean, in general, there's always there's always some negativity on some player regularly in previous season. At the moment, there doesn't seem to be on any. And you can tell, like, every player is playing their role. You know what I mean? Like, when Esposito comes on, he does well. When Boni comes on, he does well. There's no Correa, there's no Taremi that's not doing well. So that also makes a difference, which is credit to Kivu. Can't relate. Arabic commentary is elite. Yeah, it does sound elite. If only I understood, but it does sound elite. Did Dimas shave his hair off? No, I don't think he has. He's still holding on. Man. He shaves it like lower. Like, I think he goes like a 1 all over or a 2 all over, but he's still not going for the. It doesn't look like he's going for the 0 all over. Yeah, you guys are also saying, yeah, he gives off some biased vibes. Interesting. Again, I do enjoy it, his commentary, but I can see why people might think that. I might bring him on just to discuss this. I feel like we might have to discuss this with Patrick Kendrick directly and face these comments head on. Let's see if he's willing to do it. Interesting. So there's a retiro before the game. Okay, interesting, because retiro means so the players stayed at Inter's training ground before this game, because usually Kivu gives these guys the freedom to go back to their families and then come directly to the stadium for the game. So they actually did the retiro this time. So yeah, maybe they worked on some extra stuff ahead of this game and the Liverpool game, because it's all close up. So it makes sense. Yeah, I guess it worked. Maybe they need to do a retiro more often. No, he did have some mistakes last season. But again, that handball is like, I know it's, how much can you really blame Bisek? Like, he's there like this, like just his little thing just kicks out. Like, I know he's so, these little details again make the difference, but I really struggle to feel like Bisek should be blamed for not winning the Scudetto, because that moment is, he is the one that should have also been given a penalty on by Indica against Roma. It is what it is, man. But yeah, now it's time to hate watch the other teams. We can relax for the rest of the weekend. We can hate watch Napoli versus Juve tomorrow, and then Torino versus Milan on Monday night. So hopefully Christian Aslani, he missed the penalty last week. Aslani, maybe you can cook something for us on Monday. Come on, Aslani. Come on, Stipe. Do it for us. Do it for the Albanian Interisti who've been backing you for so long, and I also tried to back you for so long. Last season he worked for Milan. You were talking about Patrick Kendrick. Yeah, I mean, he's a freelancer, so he could work for any club in Serie A. He does work for when he's an interpreter as well, so he does the translations for when Jamie Vardy was signed by Cremonese. So he's a freelancer, so I wouldn't put that on him because he used to work for the Inter channel. So I'm sure if Inter hit him up, he would work for Inter. He's just a freelancer. This is our longest stretch without a draw in all competition in history, according to the Serbian commentator. Hey, wow, that's an interesting stat. But yeah, it shows this team just for some reason either wins or loses, can't draw. I wouldn't mind getting a draw in our bag, but of course today I'm so happy that we got a win. Put the slotty in the bag. Hey man, you got your name is the Lulu, so let me be the Lulu. Let me be delusional and back Aslani one more time. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. 130 people here. Thank you very much. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Once again, thank you so much again, John, for the massive donation. I'll get in touch with you in the DM. But as I said, look at your YouTube Wrapped. Open up your YouTube. On your profile, it should show you the YouTube Wrapped. So if you're on my Discord chat, if you message me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever, send me the screenshot of your YouTube Wrapped and I'll repost it on my story for sure. At least I'll do that. But if you are the person that is the highest viewed, or the one that shows me the lowest percentage, you're in the lowest percentage of viewers for my channel, you will be gifted a Inter shirt, official Inter shirt from the official Inter channel, Inter store. Thank you very much for tuning in. Ciao ragazzi, Forza Inter. And yeah, you have to mentally prepare for that already, guys. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Ciao.